All right, welcome to today's Explainer. We are diving straight into one of the absolute most critical vulnerabilities in your organization right now. And surprisingly, it's not a software glitch, it's not a hole in your firewall hardware, it's how we handle human risk. I mean, for leadership teams, managing organizational risk is literally top of the agenda, right? Yet we keep seeing these massive headline-grabbing breaches. So what's going on? Today, we're unpacking the source material on the mobile revolution in cybersecurity training. We're going to see exactly why traditional methods are leaving you wide open and how a mobile-first paradigm is, quite frankly, a total game changer for your defenses. Look at this blunt truth right here, and I think it perfectly validates a major frustration you've probably felt. Cybersecurity training doesn't fail because it's unimportant. It fails because it's just boring. As leaders, you're pouring serious money into protecting the organization, right? You roll out these massive compliance modules and kind of just assume that checking that training box means you're secure. But let's be real. When the material is a snooze fest, your employees check out. They're just hammering that next button to get back to their actual jobs. And if the training is boring, the info just doesn't stick, which means that big investment you made, it yields absolutely zero actual protection. So here is our roadmap for today. We'll cover 1. The annual training illusion, 2. The gym membership analogy, 3. The mobile-first paradigm shift, 4. Redefining the learning experience, 5. Measurable risk reduction, and 6. Building your human firewall. Okay, let's jump right into Section 1, the annual training illusion, and exactly why traditional methods fail. So most companies are still stuck in this deeply flawed model. Hours and hours of one-time training. We've all been there, right? It's that classic annual compliance marathon. We pull people away from their desks, stick them in a conference room or in front of an endless web module, and basically just bombard them with a whole year's worth of security protocols. But here's the thing. The human brain is just not wired to retain a massive data dump of technical rules like that. The result? Memory fading within days. The source material points out that employees forget almost everything they just learned in a matter of days. That traditional model actively fails because retention drops to practically zero. Which leads us to the multi-million-dollar question, doesn't it? Why do phishing attacks still work? Well, it connects directly back to that fading memory problem we just talked about. Think about it. If someone learns how to spot a sketchy email in January, but their memory of that training is gone by February, they are totally unprotected when a really clever phishing email hits their inbox in October. Attackers aren't operating on your annual compliance schedule. They are probing your networks every single day. So relying on an annual memory check basically guarantees that phishing attacks are going to keep slipping through. Moving right along to Section 2, the gym membership analogy and how we need to rethink cognitive retention. I love this analogy. Think about it like this. You can't go to the gym once a year for 8 hours and expect to be fit. Cybersecurity is exactly the same. Cognitive retention is literally just muscle memory. I mean, imagine going to the gym and lifting heavy weights for 8 hours straight. You wouldn't magically get a year's worth of fitness, right? You'd just end up exhausted and probably injured. You get fit by doing small, manageable workouts consistently. So expecting your team to build a rock-solid security mindset from one marathon seminar, it's absurd. It requires continuous, habitual repetition. All right, Section 3, the mobile-first paradigm shift, moving from compliance to culture. Things are fundamentally shifting in the industry. We are moving away from yearly compliance training, which, let's be honest, is usually just about keeping regulators off our backs, and we're shifting toward continuous daily behavior, and that is about actually keeping the company safe. Mobile apps are the vehicle driving this whole transformation. By leveraging the devices your employees are already checking dozens of times a day, we can turn cybersecurity training into something continuous and, believe it or not, genuinely engaging. It stops being this annoying calendar event and becomes a real organizational habit. Let's look at how we actually do this in Section 4, redefining the learning experience. Learning, but smarter. So instead of those brutal hours of tedious training, this mobile app approach swaps in smarter, bite-sized learning. We are talking about 2-minute micro-lessons, real-time phishing simulations that actually catch people right in the act of checking their email, interactive quizzes to test their knowledge on the fly, and gamified learning to keep things fun and competitive. This specific combination means security is always top of mind. It takes these dry, abstract concepts and turns them into practical, engaging actions they do every single day. Now, let's pause on that number for a second. 2. Because from a leadership and business case perspective, the biggest pushback to continuous training is always the fear of lost productivity.
But these micro lessons, they take 2 minutes. That is literally less time than it takes to wander to the break room and grab a coffee. We are talking about virtually zero lost daily productivity. Yet, those 2 minutes of focused repetition compound day after day, week after week, to build incredibly resilient security habits.
Which brings us to the payoff in Section 5, measurable risk reduction and the dual benefits. The real beauty of this mobile revolution is that it is a genuine win-win. On the employee side, they are building better habits and gaining serious awareness without feeling bored or bogged down. It actually empowers them. But for you, as leadership, the business case is crystal clear. Your company gets significantly higher engagement, drastically lower organizational risk, and, this is the big one, measurable results. You are no longer just crossing your fingers and hoping your staff is prepared because they signed a sheet last January. You get real-time metrics proving that your workforce is actively mitigating threats every single day. Finally, let's wrap this up with Section 6, building your human firewall. The final takeaway. This whole paradigm shift we've been unpacking today really boils down to this. Cybersecurity is no longer about yearly training. It is about daily behavior. Listen, you can go out and buy the most expensive, state-of-the-art enterprise security software on the planet, but if an employee absent-mindedly clicks a malicious link on a random Tuesday morning, boom, your perimeter is breached. The absolute only way to effectively secure an organization from the inside out is by forming daily habits. When you ditch those tedious, forgettable annual seminars for continuous mobile microlearning, you are actively rewiring your workforce's behavior. So, the question is, are you ready to build a human firewall? Human error is still the gateway for the vast majority of cyber attacks. But by rethinking training as a daily, engaging habit rather than this dreaded annual chore, you can literally transform your greatest vulnerability into your absolute strongest line of defense. This mobile-first approach gives you the exact tools to make that happen. Thanks for joining me for this explainer today, and I really hope this gives your leadership team the strategic insight you need to rethink how you protect your organization.